Hey guys, what's up? It's Crowded9 here, and I want to make a quick video discussing the limitation of Call by the Grave and some implications on how that impacts the current meta and the game overall for a lot of the tier decks. So guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you liked the video, let me know down below, and if you didn't, let me know why. And as always, you can use my TCG affiliate link down below. So guys, let's just go ahead and just start off by saying into the September 2020 ban list, we saw a limitation of Call by the Grave. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's not too bad of a hit because hand traps are stronger now. And while that's a correct statement, that is also a problem. There is a lot of hand traps in the format, and you need to keep in mind that the tier 1 decks didn't even bother playing Call by the Grave. It was not a direct hit to tier 1 decks, it was actually a major hit for tier 2, 3, and rogue decks. Now, a lot of people might be like, well, why do we really care? They're just tier 2 and 3 decks. We lose out on a lot of consistency in those decks now, and it makes it so that the tier 1 decks are just that much stronger because guess what? They can play through multiple hand traps. Unfortunately, a lot of tier 2 decks, tier 3 decks, and rogue decks cannot play through 1 or 2 interruptions. And that might be fine to some of you guys, but the majority of players in this game are not playing the tier 1 decks. And that is a problem. When you have a limitation on a security card like Call by the Grave, this card is purely for security. It just means that, hey, if you activate your tour guide or your Alster the Invoker or whatever it might be, cool. If they try to ash it, you can Call by the Grave it and your plays get through. You're getting not the biggest advantage that like other decks would be getting otherwise, right? Like let's take Emancipators before the Block Dragon hit. They played through like 45.5 hand traps and would still make the same board every time because they just didn't care because they had the security of Block Dragon. Imagine, well, honestly speaking, that's kind of how it is now. Imagine the deck not having Block Dragon, and now they don't have the option to play Call by the Grave to make sure their plays go through. And yes, this is probably the only tier 1 deck that can, well, tier 2 I would say. I think Infernal Knights went up to tier 1. I think Emancipators went down to tier 2. As of right now, this is still speculation. But yeah, Call by the Grave going to 1 is just a major hit for these decks. Because tier 2 decks now have to be like, well, what can I play in replacement of it? And there's really not a lot of things you can do to replace a card that lets your normal summon go through and extend out your plays. That is a problem, and that is actually kind of scary. Now, why do I think they did this? Unfortunately, I think Konami did this to promote Crossout Designator when it comes out in Phantom Rage or whatever it's called. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think we have it announced yet, but it's probably going to be one of those secret rare cards that's like, oh, we're bringing this amazing card from the OCG to the TCG. It stops your opponent from activating certain cards in their hand and in their whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just play it and buy 3 copies of it. Replace your Call by the Grave. That's a problem. And I really don't like that Konami does that. If this is actually the case, if we get Crossout Designator announced within the next 2 weeks, then my theory is correct, and this is meant for, the early hit on Call by the Grave, because I believe Phantom Rage comes out in November. I believe it's the middle of November, and the next ban list isn't until December, so they couldn't wait to hit Call by the Grave because they want to do it in advance to make people want to buy Crossout Designator, to buy the set, to get the card. If that's the case, this is actually a major problem that Konami needs to figure out what to do with, because you're just hurting the tier 2 decks, your majority player base, just to sell a product. And I get that's normal business practices. Yes, we got things like Harpy's Feather Duster back. We'll probably get the Call by the Grave back later on. It was semi-limited before and it did nothing. Semi-limited just literally was kind of like, well, why would you do that? Now you're just like, only the going second decks are really going to be playing 2. Now you're kind of having this Max C-ish effect where it's like, if you have it, you're good. If you don't, it's like, what are you going to do now, right? They ask you, that's your turn. This is my little rant about this card and this limitation. I know that there's going to be more people complaining about like how they have Emancipators, they never got to play it and got hit. That's a whole different discussion for another time. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I just don't like this hit. And yeah, I wanted to just give you guys my opinion on it. I want to have one more video uploaded about this ban list later on, maybe today or tomorrow. So I hope you guys take a look out, have a look out for that. And thanks for watching.